We'll call the work session to order. It's the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for July 23rd, 2018. We can review the regular business meeting first. Got the invocation and the pledge. We'll have approval of the minutes. For the approval of the agenda, Tony suggested that we move the ordinance 2018-09, which is the consideration of the salaries for the mayor and council, that we move it up to public hearing to allow public input if anyone wants to speak on the topic. So,
will we still waive the first reading
yes.
as well? Yeah.
But are you saying we'll allow
Allow
Public
hearing
today
tonight?
as well as
Okay.
next time?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Tony thought that we should do
I
that.
think that's
Yeah, I think
great.
that's a great idea.
So will we vote on to waive it here up at the public hearing?
I would.
Just move the whole thing up there?
Right,
Okay.
that's what I would do, yep.
So what, do you need a motion? What do you need?
So what I'll need is, when we open up that agenda item, I'll read out the title as usual. If you want to talk about what
Why don't you
the,
make the motion? That was your deal.
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
let's allow public discussion before
Before we
a
waive the
motion to
reading?
waive.
Okay,
the reading.
okay.
Okay, do you want
Don't
me to
you think
speak
that's-
about that at that point? Or
Yes.
save it till my council comments?
No, if you'll go ahead
I
and
can go
speak
ahead and
about
do
it
it
there.
then.
Just give everybody
Okay.
a summary of what the ordinance is,
Okay,
and then I'll open the floor to public comment.
okay,
And then
so
after public comment, then I'll take a motion to waive.
should I not go through the explanations, justifications at that point? Or just give a summary with no comment?
I would do the whole thing.
Do
I would
whatever
just
you wanna
lay it
talk
out,
about.
Lay it
it
out.
Unless you have some strategic reason not to do that,
Okay,
then,
no, I was-
then to me, it's public informational and
Uh-huh.
you just put it all out there and
Okay.
then people wanna comment on it.
Yeah, I was prepared to do that, at the end, thinking that wasn't appropriate, but if I can do it
It'll
then,
be
that's
great, yeah,
even
that's
better.
the right way to do
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I think
But-
that kind of sets up what your thoughts are on it, so then people can
Okay,
come up and give their input then,
But at the approval of the agenda, we need a motion and second to move it to the
to
public
move
hearing.
it to the public hearing.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Okay, so at the approval of the agenda, I'll need a motion to amend the agenda to move item A from new business up to item B under public hearing.
Did you get that, Christie?
Good deal.
and then
And
after.
then that item is ordinance 2018-09.
-09. And then after we hear it, then the motion, that after we speak on it, we'll motion to waive it and put it on for next.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
August 13th.
August 11th.
August 13th.
August 13th.
Oh. Is it the 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monday the 13th.
Melissa was on vacation mode.
Melissa's gone, we all go to pieces.
Well, she typed in here, waive to the August 11th meeting. We'll have
I'm
to
pretty
get her
sure
on
it's
that one.
August 13th.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I think I looked at that today
It
for
is.
My
some
calendar.
reason.
She had us meeting on Saturday.
No,
Okay, so then under public hearing, we do have the 2040 comprehensive plan update. It's basically gonna be the same presentation we had the last time from Jim Somerville. There was a problem with the,
Advertising.
Advertising.
in advance of that, yes.
It won't be that long.
so,
It's more of
It'll be a short,
so that's what,
comment.
that is under public hearing. Item A will be gone under new business. So then we'll have the 2218 -10, the speed zone.
I noticed, I don't know if this makes a difference, there's one street on there that's not in Snellville on this list.
Which one?
It's, Club Drive that intersects with Cruise Road and Shackelford
I
Road.
told them to take that off.
Okay, there's a Club Drive in Snellville and a Club
They got
Drive in
confused.
Duluth or
Duluth.
wherever that would be. So, okay, I just
I used to
happened
live
to
on
notice
Club
that.
There was actually 2 of them on there.
Oh, were there? Okay, so you caught them. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
This speed limit stuff, is this like a before and after? Is this like what's the point of this?
We have to renew a DPS permit for speed protection, so the
Okay.
council has to approve the ordinance every time we go to renew the actual DPS permit.
The ordinance saying the speed limit on this road has to be this mile per hour kind of thing. And are these basically are they the same as they are now?
Every one of them are the same, with the exception of we got.
Including Odom Street.
What was the one that I read on Facebook? Somebody thanked you for moving
Oh, that was on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had
Skyland?
no, Odom Street.
Okay.
Odom.
A citizen had called in, or had emailed me and requested, Odom Street was posted at 30 miles an hour, and he runs along that road a lot. And so he requested to see if we could reduce the speed limit to 25 miles an hour. Just to try to slow traffic a little, and it's residential, everything else is 25, so I emailed the chief, and so emails start flying back and forth, and he said, well, let me find out, because he thought that this permit had already been submitted, and can we change it, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So then it came, the long and the short of it is, it's actually in the records at 25 miles an hour, but somehow 30 mile an hour signs had gotten posted.
Okay.
So it's always been 25,
Okay.
but no one knows it's 25. So, the police and public works are working on sign placement, because Chief said even the first road sign coming off of 78 was way too far down the road. So they're relocating that where it should be. The other sign was kind of covered in vegetation, so Public Works was trimming that up and getting the signs where they need to be, and they'll be 25. So the deal is too that with the posted sign change, they won't give out tickets for 30 days. But if they do stop anybody for speeding, they'll give them warnings for 30 days. And they're gonna put the mobile signs up there too.
Already up.
They're already up, okay. So that's why, so it was just a question that was raised from a citizen, and it just kinda all worked out. Cause it was all back and forth about whether we could change it with a resolution, or did we need an ordinance, or, so. Okay, so we have that first reading, and then that's it. Anybody have any other questions on the items? Okay. Butch, correspondence?
We do. We have a request from Pittman Construction Company, the contractor for 78 and 124 project. And I just want to go over this. We meet on a regular basis, and this is something that's come up in their plans. They're requesting our approval of a couple of road closures. It's not our road, but it's certainly, our traffic flow certainly is impacted. And so DOT asked that we kind of give the thumbs up for these two road closures. This is on Henry Clower Boulevard as you come off of 78, just before you reach 124. The Sims gas station is on the north, and there is a detention pond that is going to take a lot of construction work there, because there's going to be a new turn lane put in, a right turn lane. So they're going to have to move it over. So there are two things. One is basically a weekend closure to put in a 48-inch drainage structure from north to south. And the other one is more impactful. It's a maximum of 90 days. E.R. Snell has the contract to move the pond over and build a new wall on the southwest corner of the intersection. Yes. So they're asking for one lane. Right now, there's two through lanes, in the lane further south. Also, you turn right out of, and then there's a left turn lane. So they would close the lane furthest to the south. right after the last business that needs access down to 124. I think since ER Snell is doing it, they'll be good to work with and talk to, and it's a necessity to get their big cranes in to make the changes. So they would like to. I'm letting you know they'd like our approval for that. So, and they've been very good to work with so far. I think this is something, if we had a problem, we'd address it. It could be addressed quickly. So I don't see any reason to withhold our approval.
No, I mean, there's nothing formal we need to do for this, is there?
No, there will be. No, they have to do a traffic control plan. They'll send that back. We'll share it with public safety and all the departments. And Brian can put it out as soon as we get it. I asked that as soon as we could, ask for that as soon as we could get it. So we'll put the word out there when we get the plan and we know the exact dates.
Okay. Yeah, and that one where they're, I guess too, we need to just make sure that the churches know if it's gonna be over that weekend or Sunday morning, that the Baptist, Methodist, and that church down on 124 South are
Yeah.
all notified
Yeah,
directly.
First Christian,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Snellville Christian.
We'll, and I've asked him to definitely communicate with all the businesses as quickly as possible. We'll get the word out, but it helps if they knock on doors.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and if the churches could put that in their bulletins or something too, it would just help people on
yes,
Sunday
yeah,
morning.
yeah. As soon as we have specifics there.
Okay. City attorney?
I don't have anything to report for public meeting, but I do need an executive session on all three issues: litigation, real estate, and personnel.
All right, projects?
Town Center progress, we had what I would term a very good meeting the other day. I think Christie sat in on part of it. Gretchen, you were here. Barbara, you were here at the end, where we had the kickoff meeting, and then basically TSW went through their administrative plan for addressing everything from engineering to design, not talking about specifics, just the process that we would go through. And the potential developer was there, gave good input, and I felt like we could, and thank goodness we got the contract delivered to the county. County officials were there, so I felt like we were off to a good start. There are a couple of things we have to address, and we'll do that. I'm meeting back with the county this week. I'm also meeting with TSW, so we can keep things moving. It's going to be that way from now on, to make sure that things are moving forward. Really, Market Library progress is basically the same thing, but I want to make sure that everybody is, the next steps here are where we talk a little more about specifics, about the look, the design, the uses. I felt like we had a great discussion on the market. Gretchen provided excellent input as far as the farmer's market is concerned. Because that's obviously blending that in to this project is very important to the city. And I felt like we were all on the same page in that discussion.
And I'm excited about
Well, I think we could
what it
really,
looks like
we could really grow things. But it's I'm not a farmer, but we can grow this market.
we can grow this.
But the next step is August 2nd and August 3rd. Here's the schedule for the charrette. Roger, I know you've got some very specific input you want to give, and this is the time to do it right here, when we start talking about look, feel, design, and so.
Is this open to the public?
It is. I mean, it is a, I think we posted it. It's not a, everybody come. It's not a town hall meeting.
No, I understand. The reason that I ask is that Kurt, is trained as an architect, and he has just as much knowledge of the farmer's market as I do. And I just
Yes.
think that it could be beneficial if he was there also,
It-
if that's all right.
He's a stakeholder, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
okay,
He needs to
okay.
be there, yeah, without a
You
doubt.
got that on your calendar.
So, we are, as far as marketing's concerned, I know we've got a lot of new video equipment coming in that Brian's worked on with Dave. Purple Heart City designation will be at the August 13th meeting. They have some really attractive signs that we've given to Gay, or at least we've given a parking sign to Gay. She'll have that up for the council meeting, but this will be, it will be a nice acknowledgement. Town hall meetings, once again, I always bring it up in my construction meetings with Pittman and DOT. You guys need to kind of talk about it and kind of finalize what we want to do and when we want to do it. Like I said, I think we've handled a lot of the questions and the really only a handful of complaints directly with people.
On the road, yeah.
I think we've done pretty well so far, but,
Well, I think we'll be having some other, other things at the town center.
Yeah.
Once this starts popping up, we'll have some other things that we'll need to do.
yeah. So, be thinking about an agenda how we address those things, so. But it's gonna stay on this list.
Yeah.
The UDO staff review is almost complete. Jason, didn't you say there's an update meeting next week with Caleb and TSW?
Yeah, we're gonna send them the comments over and then set the meeting.
I'm sure Caleb will have some responses there.
A lot of them.
Who's Caleb? I'm sorry.
Caleb Rossico is the lead planner with TSW on
Okay.
the UDO. He's been involved since the beginning. He does a good job. Roundabout construction. The work at North and Fars continues. We did have one little obstacle, but I think Tony helped us and Chuck helped us push through the legal issue there with one of the property owners and his bank that contested the dollars, but I think we're done there. Barbara and I had a very good meeting with Gwinnett DOT officials. We're working on a start date from Gwinnett DOT on the North Ridgedale roundabout, so we can add that date to our Polanco discussion and everything else. So, but progress is doing good good progress at North. 78 and 124. There's not much else I can tell you there. They'll be glad to get the positive word on the Clower requests. Business retention and attraction is just ongoing. It's just going to be one of those items that every now and then something will pop up, and we'll report on it. The SPLOS program. I'll provide an end of the year status at the August meeting. We have a June 30 financial statement, but all of the adjustments have not been made yet, so I'll get that out as soon as we can. Jimmy Whitaker is here starting this year's budget, and we've also told him that we would be bidding that out starting sometime in late fall, probably. Higher education. That was one of the best things about the meeting last Thursday. We had great participation from Georgia Gwinnett, from Melvin was here from Gwinnett Tech. We had Josh Wheeler from the Business Accelerator. We had Christy, and we're going to have just everybody is excited about that second floor where it will be education and everything else. So. And I think there'll be more discussion with the library as we go on in making that connection. Certainly benefits the county.
There needs to be some more discussion.
Yeah. Comp plan progress. The next public outreach is going to be at a farmer's market in August. We don't really have a date yet, do we, Jason?
I thought they picked one, I'll check on that.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I thought this picked one. It's either the third or the, I think it was the fourth.
But I think I mean, I can only characterize it as the public input has been strong to this point. They've made good outreach efforts, and I think they've got good input. So I think it's going as good as it could be expected. Ordinance development, another step of progress is on the agenda tonight with the request we've made, and these guys continue to be excellent to work with. SDS negotiations, really no report to give. And long-term planning, as I said, we had that very positive transportation meeting that I've already followed up with Alan and Lewis, and they should be reporting back on all the issues we talked to them about. So
Gwinnett DOT's coming to a farmer's market in September, I believe it is.
for transit? Okay.
Just-
There's a lot going on there. I know they're developing a ballot item, I believe. So.
And they were gonna get back with us on just follow up on all the things we talked about, right?
Yes, yeah. I've already followed up with them, and they had a lot of things on their the next BOC agenda. So, but they have.
Anybody have anything else?
That's it for that.
What was gonna be bid out?
The audit, next year's audit. So we'll put that together sometime in the late fall. It needs to be probably 6 months ahead of time. So, because they usually, I mean, they have to prepare. We'll have to get a lot of information together for them.
I know.
So,
Can we talk about liquor? Do we have time? Talk about liquor, okay. Just this past week, I happened to be at Fratelli's again. And I got to talking to Danny Gomez about some of the things that he was interested in. And he is also interested in looking at the possibility of a liquor store. And I kind of just wanted to know where we were with the previous attempt to get signatures to get that on the ballot. Is Nico still working on that? Does
Last I
anybody
heard,
know?
they stopped
They are
working
kinda
on it.
given
I didn't
up?
hear directly from them,
It's
but
very expensive to do it that way.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
If it was me, I'd put it and vote on it, and I vote yes.
And is there the,
But
why?
it was my understanding that you have to get the
Yeah.
signatures for us to be able
To
to
be
put
able
it
to
Oh,
on.
yeah.
on the ballot.
Is that right?
yeah.
Is that our ordinance or is that the state's?
State.
So that's the state deal, okay. That was the question that he had with that particular deal, because it's a
Because I mean,
really
even with
huge-
Sunday sales, we passed it by ordinance and it
Uh-huh.
got thrown back out of court.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many signatures do they need?
10,000?
30%.
30% of all registered
30% of registered
voters.
voters. So it's
Thirty
like,
percent of registered.
It's a high,
it's like
a high
3,500,
That's not even how many people turn out to vote.
is 3,500 or,
Oh, so 35,
Yeah.
and so they were
Somewhere
going
around there.
how?
Of registered voters, not just those that
Snellville
voted.
residents. Snellville
Registered
residents,
voters.
registered voters.
yes.
And that's the hard part in the sense of figuring out, because there's people that don't know that they're in the city limits. They'll say they're a registered voter, but can you vote in the city?
well, they have a list.
They have a list.
They can get a
and
list
they
from the
just get to go
registrar.
sign the
But-
list.
The
And if
So
they're
they
not on the
problem
list,
is
they
it's
don't sign.
expensive to do that, and you're not guaranteed a license, so.
He's been having somebody, yeah, that's the issue. He's been having someone, a company go door to door and do it or whatnot.
Yeah.
The thing is,
That's really,
he's putting all the money up front.
Right.
There's always people wanting to jump in after he does all the work, and depending
talking
on how
about
we draft
Danny?
these- No, Nico.
no.
Nico, okay.
And depending on how we do these.
Yeah, but it's
ordinances
what-
or whatever,
Yeah.
it could either push him out anyways because of ordinances or some regulation, or it could leave it open to where he can sell. So it's like the first person to do it is always the one that's gonna have so much crap to deal with. It's the thing.
That's just door to door, one step at a time, so.
And but they
it's-
have a time frame, don't they,
Yeah.
to get the
So it's
signatures?
30% of registered Snellville resident voters. Okay, that's what I wasn't clear about, and there is a limited time. And to get the paperwork
signatures.
started, they go through the county or through the state? Is that
No.
the links? Like,
No.
how would I start something like that?
If I were starting it, I would talk to Melissa.
Okay,
Melissa is both skilled here and she processed, I think, the Grayson when she worked with the county.
Okay.
So she's
Yeah,
very well
I didn't
informed.
even know what to tell him on that, like, I don't know, somebody started this.
Well, I mean, and the other thing would, he ought to talk with Nico. And
Yeah.
there were 3 guys involved in trying to
Uh-huh.
do that.
I think he has, but
Yes.
not recently, is the other part, so.
We
Yeah.
have memo, somebody, if you want us to send, because
Mm-hmm.
Nico came to see us, had ideas about how to avoid the.
30%.
Yeah. All those failed, we gave him the research on it. So we've provided information on how
Okay.
to accomplish it.
Okay.
We reviewed a form for the application and the NICO's process. So we have a bunch of stuff if somebody wants to
Okay.
jumpstart again and you want us to give it to them.
Yeah, just so I can give them some resources to.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
For sure, okay.
So that's the only way?
Only way.
That's the only way to do
Yeah,
it, yeah,
I
and
wish,
that.
I wish, everybody wants to invent something, but the statute's really clear.
Unless they change Georgia law?
Yeah, they have to change,
Mhm.
yeah, the
State
legislatures have
reps
to change it.
State
So-
level. yeah.
Unlikely, because people who have those licenses aren't going.
They're not
No,
gonna
they
go.
don't want any
Go
more
away nicely.
competition.
Right, in reference to the brunch bill, then,
Now that does,
this is totally separate
Yeah.
from it.
Oh, yeah.
Sales of restaurant.
you ought to try to read through the alcohol
Mm-hmm.
rules under the state. It's all piecemeal.
Yeah.
And every paragraph is addressed to like, they'll say like a population size, but it's like so narrow, it was targeted to this one county at the time that they put that piece
Oh,
of
wow.
the state law. And then the next paragraph is like targeted to this one county. You know, I mean, it is,
So if we
so
were
it really
to,
makes for very
well, what
difficult.
Brittany brought up last, meeting, last open, comment meeting.
The brunch
is that
bill.
That's the brunch.
The brunch bill.
Now that, all we need to
Can we do something
do,
locally on that?
yes, on that one, we'll need to pass a resolution, I think, to
For
put it on the,
Ballot.
to put it on the ballot. So that
Okay.
doesn't, it's not
Okay,
the
so
same
that's a
thing, that's
separate
just a
item.
change to the signatures, but it's still gotta, I mean, the change to
Change to
the
regular
hours.
Hours.
But,
But we don't have a ballot till November of 19,
right,
correct?
it's whether, I mean, we could call for a special election to do it,
Yeah,
but,
no.
I mean,
cost
special
of it.
election's gonna be $3,000
We
or
haven't had any-
$4,000 and.
Calls to request that. from
The
them.
few people that have asked me about, I've only had 2 people ask, and Brittany was one of them.
So
And I
sometime
just
next
said,
And they
year.
can start serving at noon now on
Now.
Sundays,
Yeah.
right?
It's 12:30.
I think it's
12:30.
12:30, yeah.
And it changes to 10:30 or 11.
I think it's 11.
I don't remember.
Or can we regulate that?
No.
8 AM? No.
8 a.m.
No, so next, so
So that
sometime
one,
next year, that
when
would
we
be
put the,
something.
when we
we'll
have another election.
Okay,
Or,
I mean, I'm all out for just throw it on the ballot and let people tell us what they want to do.
but getting it to that ballot
Yeah.
is the,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
That's the issue with the
good.
liquor store.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had people tell me, oh no, you
Right.
can just do it by vote to put it on the referendum. I said, no,
I don't
I really
think
don't
so.
think you can do that.
Yeah.
So. All right, and then we did have one other thing on our agenda for the Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful, the governor's environmental address.
Right, Roger had, I think you were
Yeah.
wondering about
So I
tickets
guess
for
Bobby
that.
used to go to this or put it on there, and then I guess the city went a couple of years because they won awards or something. And I was thinking if there was any interest. I want to go regardless, but I just want to see if y'all want to go.
I can't go.
Did they contact you about for winning anything this year? Or not?
No, I didn't hear from Clean and Beautiful. But it's, yeah, we usually have a presence there.
Yeah, so I would say that's the day I'm going out of town on my trip, so.
Can you just call Ariane, whoever wants to go?
I can't go.
Okay.
School day.
But yeah, if anybody wants to go, then just let Ariane know.
Plus there's a huge baseball game I need to be at that night.
Okay.
Well, this is during the day.
Cubs make, no.
We'll let Dave
I'm in
know,
school,
too.
but I'm gonna be Dave on Wednesday at the ARC meeting, so.
Okay. That's taken care of. All right, so if nothing else, During the work session of the mayor and city council, Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Pro Tem Bender announced that certain matters should be discussed in a closed session of the meeting and asked council to advise the city with respect to closing the meeting. City Attorney Tony Powell advised the city of the